Milwaukee, it's time.
Are you ready, Milwaukee?
Let's go, Milwaukee. Put your hands up.
Let's get it started. Milwaukee, this is the main event. They saved the best for last.
Get ready, Milwaukee.
The STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Women's Championship starts now.
At the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Western Qualifier requires skill. Defending women's champion Erin Lavoie made sure of that. She came in focused on dominating the field from the start, and that's exactly what she did, as she booked her ticket to Milwaukee for the 2019 National Championship.
You know, you think I'd be a lot more nervous as being on top and then coming back and trying again. I kind of don't really care. This is the first year. I've been doing this sport for probably 16 years, and I think this is the first year where I really am just stepping back, and I'm having a good time with it more than just trying to win. And I had a really good ride last year. It was super fun, but you know, this year I'm going to kick back with my fellow competitors and just kind of enjoy the sport a little bit more.
Joining Lavoie and advancing out of the Western Qualifier was Kate Page in second place and Lindsay Down in third. Those are your qualifiers from the 2019 STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Western Qualifier. The 2019 STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Midwest Qualifier was stacked with big names. On the women's side, the showdown was on as Kendall Cornelius and Nancy Zaleski put on an epic battle for supremacy. In the end, it was Cornelius who came out on top and found her redemption after not qualifying for the national championship in 2018.
100% redemption, yes. I think it's a testament to myself more than anyone else that just need to trust in myself and believe in my capabilities and abilities. And I'm excited for Milwaukee.
Yeah, but she's definitely making up some time here on stand two. Last first, Kendall Cornelius with an excellent coverage.
Are spun to the equal diameter and then randomly assigned to the athlete.
Great touch from Kendall there.
In third place was Kate Witkowski, who overcame a busted hand to hold on and advance.
Well done.
It stayed together, and that's good, so but I was ready to lose my thumb to get to Milwaukee.
Those are your qualifiers from the 2019 STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Midwest region. The 2019 STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Northeast Qualifier featured fierce competition. On the women's side, it was a showdown between two elite competitors as Martha King and Alex Miller went head-to-head for the title.
Position 3, Martha King taking the heat. Martha King, the driver's already on position number 3. There it is. Martha King takes the heat.
King took the single buck and underhand disciplines, but it was Miller who took control in the stock saw to claim the win.
I'm so happy though. I called my dad and he's pretty emotional about it because he knows how hard that I've been working at it, so, and my whole family, but it takes a team, it's not just me, that's for sure.
Tracy Henning finished third to round out a strong group of women advancing to the national championships. And now, it's time for the 2019 STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Women's National Championship.
Be here in Milwaukee for this magical weekend, most important weekend of the year for STIHL TIMBERSPORTS. We have crowned our men's champion. We have crowned just moments ago our collegiate champion, and now we are ready for our STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Women's U.S. Championship to take us through it all. One of the greatest competitors of all time, multiple world records. He's got so many championships, a true legend in lumberjack sports. He's Super Dave, Dave Jewett.
It has been, I got a little bit of voice left. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. This is championship weekend, exactly. Championship weekend. We have had qualifiers all year long for the men's professional division, for the collegiate division, which just wrapped up. Now this is the third year of the women's division. The top women are here, and as he said, my name is Dave Jewett. They did call me Super Dave, and sometimes still do. For the 25 years I competed in STIHL Timber Sports. Now, I'm going to be calling the show for you today. We have 3 events for the women, but this is also being aired for CBS and CBS Sports. We've got 16 episodes that will be aired this fall. Check out STIHL Timber Sports for air times. And when you watch, you will hear these 2 gentlemen right up there, center stage in the back, cross-country world record holder Kevin Holtz, and 30 years he's back, the golden voice of Tommy Sanders. I tell you what, this has been the rowdiest crowd we've had, and I want to know, is the Alex Miller fan club back this year? I was hoping you were going to be here. We got a lot of rules, 27 countries involved, so I'm going to bring out the head judges that help referee this match. From the United States, please give a warm welcome to Rich Hallett. And because STIHL Timber Sports is so international, he made the trip all the way from the UK. Please welcome Andy Hall. And of course, no Timber Sports event can kick off without a ceremonial first cut. So the people that are helping us so much put this competition together, we're going to bring this gentleman out. Tony Lagatetta. He's from STIHL National, and he takes care of the championship air races. Let's bring him out. And the CEO of Sprechter Brewing Company, Randy Sprechter. And they will be helping us make this ceremonial first cut. One more gentleman I'd like to mention. He's behind the scenes. He does not get enough credit. He comes all the way from Virginia Beach. The head man in charge, the conductor of this steel train. Big round of applause for Roger Phelps.
Thanks, Dave. All right, Milwaukee, you ready to go? We know we got people coming down, but this crowd right here is the most fired up and most excited crowd we've ever had. This is our 3rd year in Milwaukee, and we absolutely love it here. And I think it has something to do with maybe our German roots, STIHL being a German company, German fest, German beer, German fans, or just fans of German beer. We don't care, we love it here, and you're in for a treat today. So back in 1985, we started the STIHL Timber Sports Series to locate the #1 all-around best lumberjack sports athlete. And that sport has grown from its humble beginnings to a global phenomenon. And it was several years ago that we started looking and saying, you know what? Those lumberjills deserve their own time on the main stage. And we have the best, the top lumberjills in the entire country for you here today, our entire live stream audience and CBS Sports. The ladies have earned their way here, and we can't wait to see what they're going to give you. Now, we have our host here, we have our wonderful sponsors, and I tell you what, well, let's get this thing started with our ceremonial cut. Dave, are our guys ready? Absolutely.
This guy, he's already done this before.
He's already done this, of course, you know. All right, gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, go. Look at this, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially started. Dave, back to you.
Great job, guys. Follow me here. He was just saying, you know, I used to run these saws cutting the redwoods up in Humboldt County, California. That's a first. This guys clearly knew what they were doing. Okay, let's bring out the top 10 finalists whose women all had to qualify around the country. Let's bring her out. From Hayward, Wisconsin, please give a Milwaukee welcome to Kate Witkowski. And you already heard him in the front row down there. Put your hands together from Alden, New York, Alex Miller. From Chatsford, Pennsylvania, Martha King. From Marion, New York, making her first appearance in the Timber Sports Finals, Tracy Henning. And from Round Lake, Illinois, she's back, Lindsay Dawn. And from Spokane, Washington, the 2018 Steel Timber Sports Women's Division Champion, here to defend her title, Erin Lavoie. And from East Hampton, Connecticut, Kelly Kerrigan. The winner of the 2017 Women's Division National Champion from Chester, New Hampshire, Kendall Cornelius. From just up the road in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, please welcome Nancy Zaleski. All the way from Alberta, Montana, Alberton, Montana, Kate Page. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your top women in the country. Big round of applause.
Steel Timber Sports, Steel Chainsaw. Competitors on an even playing field. This is the stock saw. The Steel Stock Saw. Two competitors going head-to-head with identically tuned MS661 chainsaws. After a 15-second warm-up, all 8 fingers must be crossing that line. On go, with speed, they retrieve the saw. With precision, they enter the saw into the wood. Listening to the RPMs, feeling the saw cutting through the wood, severing that first clean disc. Then, the perfect transition, and again, with precision, entering the log for the upcut. Hopefully seeing 2 complete discs on the ground, and of course, this 4-inch line remaining for a needle cut.
This is the stock saw, the event that seems to decide it all. On stand number 1, from Hayward, Wisconsin, Kate Witkowski.
Well, we have met our 10 competitors out here today. They've qualified from all parts of the country. They all have earned their way, their right to be on this, the biggest stage in the country for lumberjack sports. And we're going to start it off with our first of 3 disciplines today. That's going to be the stock saw. We'll also include the single buck and the underhand on the way to identifying our national champion, Steel Timber Sports Women's Division. Putting all the finishing touches on the blocks, and we'll have 5 heats of each one of these disciplines here. And your overall points, the high points total at the end of it all, will hoist the trophy. Erin Lavoie, your defending champion.
Well, Tommy, I'm very curious to see this stock saw battle this year. The way, the nature of this sport, let's say, I don't care if it's men, women, college, you know, what have you, is that somebody comes along and does something different and raises the bar and gets attention. Last year, Nancy Zaleski brought a level of skill and precision to this stock saw that I don't think anybody's really paid attention to in the women's division. And it really got people's attention, and I think you're going to see our lady competitors really turn things up in this stock saw. I think we're going to see closer matched times than we ever have in our women's division.
Taking a look at our first 2 competitors, heat number 1. It's Kate Witkowski in the foreground. Alex Miller on stand number 2. Alex Miller from Alden, New York. This is her 2nd straight appearance on this championship stage. Ditto for Kate Witkowski. She also has the advantage of being a home state favorite here. coming to us from Hayward, Wisconsin. Stevens Point grad, and she tipped us off to another Stevens Point grad who did very, very well in the college competition. Toby Gooch finished in second place. So Stevens Point is well represented today.
And the fans are picking up on it too. I mean, they recognize names and towns and states and whatever, and they're you hear anybody from Wisconsin, and they're just jumping on it.
They're ready to go. These fans are terrific here in a very lumberjack-centric state for sure.
Warm up your saws.
Alex Miller, a grad of SUNY ESF in New York, competing since 2012. Kate Wiskowski competing about for the same amount of time.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Kate Wiskowski getting up and rolling that saw into that cut. Puts a lot of pressure on there. Other than that, we've got a pretty dead run right now. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be an advantage Miller, and Alex Miller just keeps getting faster in this stock saw. Last year, I was giving her a little bit of flack because she was dancing around a bit. Her feet were unsettled, and she wasn't really able to apply consistent pressure to that saw. This year, she's up, she's in, those feet are staying planted, and even in the qualifying round, I think she had a little bit of a bobble on the upcut, but great clean transition, nice run, everything just settling into place.
Under review.
Except for that.
Yeah, stand number 2. You heard Dr. Rich Hallett, our rules judge, saying it's under review on stand number 2. So let's take a closer look.
Looks like a pretty clean run. It should be plenty. I mean, obviously we can't see the operator's side of the log, but that shouldn't need to be reviewed if it's a cut line versus not cut line. It's almost got to be a potential jumped gun.
Well, Alex Miller was definitely first to the wood.
Okay, I've got Kate Witkowski here, Wisconsin native. Kate, you were such a strong chopper, such a strong single bucker. Those events coming up. What does it take, stock saw? Strength, agility, finesse, which one?
It takes keeping your head in. It's all about kind of calming your nerves and making sure you kind of let your body just do what it knows how to do. If you start overthinking it, you're going to DQ.
You've told me you always look calm on the outside, but you said your nerves on the inside. You look calm today, Kate.
Yeah, good. I'm glad I look calm.
Having fun out there. Let's talk to Alex Miller for a second. Okay, we're not. We're going to go right to the time.
After review, we've determined that both cuts are good.
Consistently fast in the stock saw. To be fast, you have to be fast to the wood. That's what they were reviewing. How fast is too fast? We've seen competitors come right down with one frame and their fingers are just leaving the wood. How fast do you want to get to that go?
Honestly, I was a little faster than I normally am, and I think that's just nerves, so I'm really lucky on that call, but obviously the closest you can get to go is, where you want to be.
In proximity, you're so close to each other. Kate was ahead of you. She came off first on the down cut. Were you aware of that because you made a comeback on the second disc?
Yeah, I honestly was doing a little too much down pressure on my first cut, and I was like, a little less there on the second cut, and I was able to bounce back, so happy about that.
Well, there you go. It's Miller time. We're going to check out the time of Alex Miller here, leading in 11.71.
Excellent run from Alex Miller. Quick off the block, obviously quick enough to get Rich Hallett's attention, and post 2 nice clean cuts. Everything is smooth, it's steady. She's staying in position, not shifting around. Nice run, Alex Miller.
She was first to the wood. She was second in the changeover, and then first at the end. So up and down, and it ends in Alex Miller's favor. 11.70 is her time. Right behind her, Kate Wiskowski, 11.99.
Well, as we've seen, Tommy, between that 11.70 and that 11.99, there's a lot of tenths and hundredths of a second.
Oh.
That was a close race by the eye, but there's room for, 2, maybe 3 competitors to sneak in there if they wanted to.
At the least.
Welcome to Tracy.
Next two competitors up in the stock saw, that's Tracy Henning right there. Wife of one of our men's division competitors, Chris Henning. We saw him performing in the semifinals here. Going up against Martha King. There's
yeah, Tracy's biggest little fan. That's Drake. Hey, Drake.
Right. He looks fierce too. He's ready to compete, I think.
I say about 2 more years, and Drake will be swinging an axe.
All right, fast-tracking him a little bit there. Martha King, the opponent. Martha King, very formidable opponent, second place last year. Finished in third place the year before that, 2017. Chadsford, Pennsylvania. Sales manager at Hardwood Flooring Company is Martha King.
Warm up your saws.
.11.70, the time posted by Alex Miller. Going to be the time to beat for sure.
Athletes ready.
Second heat of the stock saw.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Tracy hovering a bit over that cut. Oh, and it didn't pay out. I was going to say, maybe she came up crooked and she was looking to straighten herself out, but she hovered trying to straighten out, and it just didn't happen.
Alex Miller with some trouble right before the cut was finished, second cut, but she did get her disc out. Unofficially about a 13.5-second cut for Martha King.
You can see Alex Miller putting down that 11.71, just putting the pressure on the field.
Andy Hall took a look at stand one, and the flag is staying in his pocket. I don't see any flags flying. I think we're going to be okay as we watch this replay. Boy, Martha King had enough. She could have ripped off a third or maybe fourth cut on that.
Both cuts are good.
2 thin ones for Martha King, the apparent winner of heat number 2. We await the official time. Let's hear from Martha King.
All right, from Marion, New York, I've got Tracy Henning here. Tracy's so excited. You made it in. You've been trying to get here to the finals. You even got your son Drake in the crowd. I think he might be on camera more than you for that cut. Tell us what happened.
I'd like to say I wasn't nervous about being here, but I'm absolutely nervous to be here. I watched it cut out, and I was like, oh no. But I've been working on making smaller, cutting it back. So I knew I had enough room to make 2 cuts. I just had to take a deep breath and do what I could do.
Great job. Single buck coming up soon. Keep an eye on Tracy Henning.
A tough break for Tracy Henning. But we're just getting rolling.
Oh, yeah.
We got 2 more disciplines to go, and as Dave said, we got to keep an eye on her in the single buck event coming up here very shortly.
There's your time right there. Alex Miller. Oh, here we go. Let's hear from.
Got Martha King here. Martha, you won that heat. I know you want to make that cut over again. Tell us what was happening on that second cut.
I definitely would love to take that over again. I don't know. I just felt like I couldn't hear anything, didn't have the feel for it. I'm just too amped up right now, and I lost some valuable points there, I think.
Well, fortunately, she won the underhand here last year. That underhand is not far away. She's going to be taking that aggression out, looking for potentially a world record, because this wood is very fast. Martha, good luck. Keep going.
Thank you very much.
There's our next two contestants in the stock saw. Aaron Lavoie, the defending champion from 2018. There's Lindsay Down from Round Lake, Illinois. Longtime Timber Sports fans will also remember her father, great competitor, Dennis Down.
In attendance.
He is in attendance. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I have not seen him yet, but kind of figured that would be the case.
Got a wave on his way by. Always good to see Dennis out and about and catch up with another legendary lumberjack. A giant in the sport, you could say, in many ways.
Absolutely, on different levels.
Warm up your saws.
Lindsay not happy with her performance
Athletes
last year.
ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Aaron Lavoie, I guess, couldn't be happier with her performance from last year. Our reigning champ is flying. Oh, no!
Little bobble
flying
right there.
down through this wood. Lindsay having to reshoot as well.
Well, both competitors having a little trouble there. Let's look at it again.
Yeah, and look at the tabletop that Lindsay Down is going to put down. She is, I believe, expressing her frustration at the top of that cut.
Stand one under review.
And now she has to go back and try to sneak in anything she can.
Lindsay Down certainly had her share of troubles on that particular stock
Stand
saw cut.
one,
Here's
DQ,
Aaron Lavoie's
cut. Over
cut.
the line. Stand 2, cut was good.
Oh, that is not how you want to start your day. A DQ in the stock saw. I tell you, who benefits the most from that is Tracy Henning and Aaron Lavoie. I mean, with a double clutch on the bottom there and having to restart, even a slow time is better than no time.
Absolutely.
Saw that with Andrew Sargent in our collegiate division.
Got it. I've got Aaron Lavoie, 2018 champ. Aaron, tell the crowd what you just told me. You're such a tough athlete, but this is a tough stage, isn't it?
It's a make or break event right there, and it's hard. We were talking backstage, like, I feel like you're gonna throw up, your legs are jittery and your hands get jittery and you just don't feel that strength. Yeah, I've got the confidence, but it's still, it's too much riding on it, and you don't know what's gonna happen, unfortunately, for Lindsay. I'm glad that I did not disqualify, but that's still a bummer how that played out for me.
Okay, thanks for your time. There you go, Aaron Lavoie.
Well, Aaron Lavoie, the defending champ, getting a little bit behind the 8 ball to start here. Certainly not out of it by any means. She had to make a clutch single buck effort at the end of the competition last year to pull out that win. She's standing certainly in 4th place right now. Alex Miller, 11.70, still the top time so far in the stock saw. We got 2 more heats left to go.
Tommy, you got to wonder if I made the statement at the start of this that I thought we were going to see times all exceptionally close, kind of like we saw with men's pool A, and everybody gunning for that, that top time. But here's the thing: when you come out of the gate like Alex Miller did, and you post a time like Alex Miller did, I think everybody is gunning for that time. And you heard Aaron Lavoie talk about it. The nerves get the best of you. Martha King also said, she goes, I don't know what was going on. She had a great time, but she's like, I don't know what was going on. I couldn't hear the saw. I couldn't feel the saw. She had like an out-of-body experience. And that's what this facility and that's what this moment does to you. This is the biggest stage in lumberjack sports. And I think it's rattling some cages.
Absolutely. They always give us a great show. They have a hard-fought championship, it seems like, each and every year. filled with ups and downs, just like every good championship. Just a little while ago finished our collegiate championship for the day, and our eventual winner had to endure a terrible, really third from last place opening discipline with the stock saw, as a matter of fact. But he brought it all the way back. Here we go with our two competitors. That's Carrie Kelligan. Carrie Kelligan from Eastern Seaboard, from Connecticut. Carrie going up against Kendall Cornelius. Kendall also from the north and the east, Chester, New Hampshire. A manager at Tractor Supply up there and coach of the University of New Hampshire Woodsman's team. Really likes the stock saw.
I'd say, yeah. It's paid dividends for her. Of course, Kendall also our 2017 champion. Asking for an adjustment in the block. She cuts to the inside of the stand, as they say. Much like you see, well, actually there's not many people who do it anymore. There's Mike Swingland, Mel Lentz.
Why the preference for the inside?
There's a bunch of talk about how the power head and the chainsaw bar come up and over and what blocks your sight and all the different elements of getting that saw lined up. So it's a strategy that's been it's fallen by the wayside a little bit. Kelly Kerrigan over there on stand number one has got herself set and reset again.
Kelly Kerrigan earned her spot via wild card selection. She's an environmental scientist there in the state of Connecticut, in the Nutmeg State. She's in East Hampton, Connecticut. First trip to the Steel Timber Sports Championships for Kelly Kerrigan. We got Kendall Cornelius now resituated and just about ready to go. And she and Kelly Kerrigan.
Warm up your saws.
Ready to give it their best in the stock saw. Time to beat so far, still Alexandria Miller, 11.70.
I think Kendall presents, and you know, Kelly too, a couple of good
Athletes
shots
ready.
to take that time down.
Stand
but
to your timber.
that time may stand pretty tall today.
2, 1, go!
Kendall Cornelius first to the wood.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think Kelly reeled her in. I think.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, my word. That's going to take a while to sort that one out. So very close between Carrie Kelligan and Kendall Cornelius.
But both these ladies very close, according to the unofficial clock. They are on the heels of Alex Miller. Take another look at this run. Kerrigan on the near side, Cornelius on the far side. A little bit of shuffling feet there from Cornelius, not quite comfortable in her position. The nose of that bar, you couldn't really see it
Both
in the.
are good.
You couldn't really see it from this camera shot, but I can tell by the spray of chips, the nose of that bar almost sucked completely back into the block.
Kendall, you're clearly displaying fight-back ability. You missed it last year. You won the year before. You just laid down to 2 perfect cuts in my mind. What's going through your head in 2019?
It's a new year, new me. I've come back this year a much different athlete than I was last year. I've gone back to the basics, just really solid, how to pick up the saw, how to make a really good cut, listening to the saw and understanding how the RPMs are working on that piece of wood, and today I think it really paid off. It was a great honor to be on the stage with Kelly. She's the wild card this year, so she's here on an awesome ticket. Let's all hear it for Kelly. She did a great job.
11.72 seconds. Unofficially, you were in second place right now. Kelly Kerrigan, get over here. 11.77. You're sitting in third place right now. You're a wild card. You weren't even sure if you were going to be here. You're smiling as if you're having a good time.
I'm having a great time. I'm so happy to be here. I put a lot of work into this stock, so I had a lot to prove, and I think I did it.
All right, it's a great time sitting in third place right now. And second place, looks like Alex Miller still holding strong.
Well, Tommy, I mentioned I thought we'd see some time stack in there.
How about the top 5 within 0.2 of a second?
Yeah, we're starting to pile them up now.
Great racing there, and both of those last 2 hot saw competitors trying to take down Alex Miller did not succeed in doing so. Missed it by 2/100ths of a second. Did Kendall Cornelius. She's in second place with 11.72. Kelly Kerrigan right behind, 5/100ths of a second behind Cornelius with 11.77.
Well, and I'd like to thank those top 5 competitors too, because especially the top 4 there, for making me look smart.
No, the prophet. That's what we call you, the prophet.
I started to question myself. I said, you know what, maybe I missed something. Maybe this isn't going to be the stock saw year. And I think we just had a pod in the middle that was gunning a little too hard and got a little carried away. And we've corrected the accounting error.
Kind of disappointing, though. That's the first stock saw, at least so far, the first stock saw competition that we haven't had a new national record set among the men's and the college ranks. Happened in both. One more heat left to go. There's Nancy Zaleski. Well known for her ability to run a very fast stock saw time, going up against Kate Page.
Tommy, maybe it's not too late. Not too late to dream.
You're absolutely right.
That new national record.
Not counting it out at all. Nancy Zaleski, the chemist, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. So she'll get some home state love here in Milwaukee. Kate Page from out west, firefighter, out in the woods on the front lines for the Forest Service. She's been competing since 2013.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Page right there with the go. Zaleski a bit lag on the go. Oh, but she's making it up in the timber. Nancy Zaleski is going to show us how it's done. Unbelievable. Now that unofficial time does not put her in that top 4. We'll wait to see what the official time comes out like. She was a bit behind on the start. We're going to look at it here in a second, but she got everything going once she was in the wood. There you can see it. One finger up on that chain brake. She has to reposition that grip, but man, did she make time through that timber.
I have the winner of the stock saw from last year. Nancy, you've had a lot of coaching. I'm going to give a shout out to Herb Gingras, who has coached you. What did he tell you that you didn't just do?
So the biggest thing Herb says, if you never want to hit the chain brake, send your fingers down straight. And what did I do? I set my fingers down flat, felt the chain break. I'd done it at home, thought, well, you grab it with the rest of them and you move on your way up. So it's slower than I wanted, but I'll take it.
2 of your stronger events coming up, underhand and single buck. Get ready. Hey, big round of applause from last year's champ. Recovering well, though, Nancy Zaleski.
One more look at this from Nancy Zaleski. A little behind, but was able to bring it back in. Just a what you call a mental error right there at the start, and you know it happens to the best of them.
Yeah, but you know what, Tommy? As bad as that was, and as much time as that cost, it could have been so much worse.
Oh.
If you come down flat-handed like that, she just kind of hooked the chain break. She could have slapped that chain break, which knocks it forward, engages the chain break. Now she's not just looking at a hand reposition. Now she's got to disengage that chain break. She's going to nestle in the middle of the pack, but still around a 12 flat. Again, Nancy, thank you for making me look like I know what I'm talking about.
We'll be right back.
Ready for any landscape challenge. Battery power, made by STIHL, only at your local STIHL dealer.
Forecasts are fickle. Don't change your plans. Change your pants. Duluth Trading Flexpedition Pants. Highly capable clothing. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
No gas required, just pure endurance, elbow grease, and a misery whip. This is the single buck. It's a 6 to 6.5 foot saw. It's a science to make these saws. It's a science to run these saws. On go, you want to go full speed on a push or a pull stroke using the entire saw. It's a 2 to 3 peg and raker. The pegs are the teeth. They cut the wood. The rakers clean the wood. You want to use the full saw, cutting on the forward stroke, cutting on the back stroke, using every muscle in your body from your toes all the way up to your head, driving the saw with confidence through the entire log. If you deviate from your technique, you can dive a raker into the wood, bringing you to a sudden stop. Then you have to regain that momentum, losing time.
Right there, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have had a magical weekend here, and we are putting the final touches on it with our women's championship, STIHL TimberSports 2019. Of course, our championship points, STIHL TimberSports points, reflect the order of finish in our first of 3 disciplines, with Alex Miller on top with 10 points. Kendall Cornelius and Kelly Kerrigan, a hard-fought stock saw battle between the two of those, and Kendall Cornelius comes up on top of that. Kerrigan in third, Nancy Witkowski in 4th place, and Nancy Zaleski in 5th. We're going to continue sawing this of the human-powered variety, the old misery whip. The single buck is on the way. This is going to be the matchup between Caitlin Page and Erin Lavoie, and it was Erin Lavoie making a clutch single buck run last year to secure her championship.
These ladies get their saws set in here. They've got some helpers out there, the caddies of the world, of the lumberjack world. Caitlin Page getting some help from West Coast competitor extraordinaire, single buck operator extraordinaire, David Moses. There's a guy over on stand number 2 with Erin Lavoie helping our current reigning champ, Erin Lavoie, 6-time champion who was defeated by Cassidy Shear this year in his bid for his 7th national championship. That's Matt Koger.
So our women competitors settle for only the top shelf sort of caddies here. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Matt Koger, boy, what a legend he has carved out for himself. No one will question his towering importance in United States lumberjack sports history.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
I'm kind of surprised to see Erin Lavoie seated in the first heat. Reigning champ, I think some things may not have gone quite so well for her leading up to this event. Look at the noodles just spraying out of that log.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. That saw came right back out towards her leg.
And she is faster this year. And she's gonna have to wait and watch for 4 heats.
Let's take a look at this run from Erin Lavoie. She gets in here to the heavy part of the wood, and look at the spray of noodles coming out both directions, just pistoning that saw. Great form, great consistency. The nose of that saw disappearing back into the block.
Here's a woman who owns a CrossFit gym, probably the most fit woman I know, and she just says, I'm tired. I know it's a mental strain. I know, it's mental strain. It's a lot on your mind. But you know you got Matt Koger up there, a man who just won the national title in the single buck. What's he telling you? Because you look like you cut really well.
I didn't hear him during the event there, actually, but he told me before going into it, you know what you're doing, do your thing, and I'll be there to support you, and that's like kind of the best words I could have heard, so I was happy to have him there helping me out.
All right, great cut, faster than your time here last year. You were in the lead. How do you feel?
It was softwood. You know, I'm in the lead because it's the first heat. I've got 4 heats to go. So, yeah, right now I won it. Yay!
All right, there you go, Erin Lavoie. Thanks, Erin.
2018 women's champion Erin Lavoie of Spokane, Washington, right there. Good solid cut there, and we'll see how competitive that time turns out to be. Get you that official time in just a second here. There it is. Erin Lavoie 12.911. Caitlin Page 16.23. Defending champ Erin came in 6th place overall points after one discipline, so the longer she can remain on top of that particular list right there, the single buck, the better her chances will start shaping up. Here we go with Lindsay down right there. Lindsay had a little bit of frustration there in the stock saw, looking to recover now and lay down a really good cut in the single buck.
Well, Tommy, it was funny, you were running through those points and setting up this next gig, and I'm watching the stage a little bit, watching the crowd a little bit, and I noticed, I looked over, and the Down family is now sitting up in their seats.
All right.
They are no longer lounged back in a relaxed position. And then I looked at the stage and said, oh yeah, Lindsay's up. Yep. Here we go.
Lazy Sunday over. Now you got to give full attention to this. Tracy Henning, her opponent. Tracy Henning, the Walworth, New York Justice Court clerk. Tracy Henning been competing since 2000. Student of Dave Jewett.
Jack and Jill partner.
Absolutely.
With Dave Jewett. Those two can move a saw together. It is.
Yeah.
They'll be cutting Lumberjack World Championships coming up. They'll be cutting the Jack and Jill there. And their time in the Jack and Jill usually would place them in the men's division.
Wow.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both these ladies starting right on that go. They're getting every last nanosecond they can. Lindsay bringing that saw up and back a little more, just get a little more pressure on it. Drives through at the bottom. Takes down Tracy Henning in that heat. At this point, I'm going to say that Erin Lavoie's time will probably stand. Let's take another look at this run here. A little bit of a hang up at the top. And then Lindsay finally starts to stretch it out about 2 or 3 pushes in. Looking at Tracy Henning in the background there too. Look at the pile of chips just accumulating there. Both of these ladies moving some serious material.
We're going to ask her about that. Hey, Lindsay. How's it going?
It's going. I had a little bit of a rough start, but I feel good about this one. You know, it's I had a new refiled saw. It's the first time I've pulled it since I got it, and you know, sometimes it's hard to shake off that first event woes. But hey, I actually cut a straight line up, even though I DQ'd. Last year I took like a foot, so I say it's an improvement.
Yeah, Lindsay, she's referring to her stock saw better than last year. But I tell you what, that was a great cut in the single buck, but we know you can go faster. 13.49, you're in second place right now. What's it feel like racing against your best friend, Tracy Henning?
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's always just so fun, and to be able to turn around and you see that smiling, glorious face, just want to squeeze it.
All right, thanks for your time. There you go, Lindsay Dawn and Tracy Henning.
Yeah, Aaron Lavoie still on top. 12.91. Lindsey Dawn
find that faster than she expected. Still hold.
Tracy Henning, Caitlin Page rounding out the top 4 after 2 heats in the single buck. Second of our 3 disciplines to establish a women's national champion. Coming to you from German Fest. Here in Milwaukee, a very special weekend here in this Wisconsin city on Lake Michigan. Largest German festival, 3-day German festival in America. And they got it all here. Just a great, great experience. If you ever get a chance, you're ever in this part of the country in midsummer, it's worth a trip.
Oh, even if you're not from part of this country.
What's it? Yeah.
I know we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great venue next year in Salem, Oregon, the Oregon State Fair, but still, I'm going to miss this.
Oh, I am too. Just a perfect. I mean, come on. It's beautiful. Here we go. Kelly Kerrigan, Kendall Cornelius.
Stand to
rematch
your timber.
From the stock saw, actually.
3, 2, 1, go!
Our wild card, Kelly Kerrigan, was selected out of the nation because of her exceptional qualifying run. Didn't qualify in, but they said, we got to bring you along. Oh, trouble, double trouble.
Wow, Carrie Kelligan looked like Cornelius all the way, but Kerrigan at the end of it all.
Kendall Cornelius got into the wood at the bottom of that run. That's when you get into the small timber. You're putting a lot of pressure on a small number of teeth. The nose of that saw just dumped over a little bit. That puts a raker right on that far edge. There it goes again. Just absolute frustration at that point. Tough break for Kendall Cornelius. She's an exceptional sawyer, extremely powerful sawyer, and that just tells you how hard the brakes were on that run. Kelly Kerrigan, there you can look at her in the near ground. Got a little more saw to run into that block. She could probably step back a little bit, but man, did it work well for her today.
Neither run without its ups and downs right there, but apparently coming out at the end, Kelly Kerrigan.
I got Kelly Kerrigan. We're having a little fun up here. Kelly, again, you know, Kendall's right ahead of. She's probably ranked a little higher than you in this event. But we haven't seen you before. Your single bucking ability is just skyrocketed, and you cut perfect. No other women can hang. You didn't have any hang, a perfect cut.
Yeah, I felt like I ran the saw pretty smooth, but I was lifting up a little bit too much in the back, more than I'd like. But no hang-ups, and that's smooth as fast there.
All right, we'll let you get ready for the underhand. 15.22 seconds for Kelly Kerrigan.
Well, not going to put her up on top of the leaderboard right there. Kelly Kerrigan Managed to take that heat from Kendall Cornelius. Had a little more trouble than you would expect from her on any given day. Kendall Cornelius' time 15.49. Kelly again 15.22. So Erin Lavoie hanging in there, staying on top, making up some ground that was lost in the first discipline, the stock saw. So Erin Lavoie can start thinking about making that final push at the end to repeat a championship, a national championship in steel timber sports.
She is from Alden, New York. On stand number 1, that's Alex Miller.
There's Erin Lavoie. Kelly Kerrigan.
From Chatsford, Pennsylvania, Martha King.
Alex Miller, Martha King. Heat number 4 with a single buck. That's Alex Miller in the foreground. Martha King, runner-up last year on stand number 2.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Bit of trouble at the top for Alex Miller. Martha King is not waiting around. She starts with that saw a little bit nose up. Now it's got it settled down into a nose down position. Oh, what a heartbreak for Alex Miller.
Yeah, tough finish for Alex Miller right there. Good looking cut though from Martha King.
Good looking time for Martha King, unofficially showing a 12.69. Having another look at this up on the instant replay up on the Jumbotron. A little chatter there. That was close to a hang up, but she held it together. Nice clean finish. Nice run, Martha King.
Needed a good run, may be good enough to take over first place. We'll have to wait on the official time.
Martha King
could use it.
She's got a lot of fight in her. Not the best stock saw, and you have not won a single buck yet. But I tell you what, I think you're in the lead. We're going to get the official time in just a second. How did you feel it went?
Well, better than at the qualifier. I mean, it's a faster time, but still I could work on longer, smoother strokes, but that's always cutting. I'm grateful for a good wedger. It's a lot of fun to be out here, and I just can't wait for the next event. Here we go.
And it truly is an international competition because you had wedging for you, the top timber sports champion from Australia, Lawrence O'Toole. How does that help, having a familiar wedger helping you out?
I have utmost confidence in him. I can completely relax and do my thing.
All right, watch her do her thing in the underhand chop coming up next. We're going to wait for the official time coming in for Martha King.
So Martha King started in the second discipline in 6th place. She has a good enough time when the official comes out to take over the top spot. That will be a significant and meaningful move up the leaderboard. And we'll await that. Could be here in just a second or two. That was our 4th heat. There's one more left to go. And there it is, yeah. Martha King taking over from Erin Lavoie, 12.43. After that, Erin, Lindsay Down, Tracy Henning, Kelly Kerrigan, Kendall Cornelius, Caitlin Page, and Alexandra Miller.
Tommy, I got a suspicion, we'll call it, a suspicion that 12.44 may not survive this last heat.
Okay. Well, if the seedings are correct, then that's the way it, in many ways, ought to go.
Kate Rutkowski has been cutting really exceptional single bucks. Nancy Zaleski, I don't think I mentioned it yet, but both Nancy and our co-host, Dave Jewett, turning the big 5-0 this year.
Oh, that's right.
Athletes
yes.
ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
But Nancy recovering from surgery. She was kind of back last year, but not really back where she had been. She is back in full force this year. Witkowski, though, giving her a run.
Oh, Nancy Zaleski.
Not going to be quick enough, though, to take down that time of Martha King, and most likely will settle in behind Erin Lavoie, unofficially showing that 13.22. Nice clean run. The top of that block, just not a lot of debris flying. Draws back on that last pole stroke and just heels it off. Take a look at Kate Witkowski here. I thought for a moment she was going to reel in Nancy Zaleski.
Kate Witkowski, you know, Kate, it's so different than chopping wood. These saw teeth are moving across the wood. So tell the crowd what you just told me about moving the saw back and forth as opposed to putting too much down pressure.
Yeah, it can be really easy to feel like you want to force the saw to cut and push down on it, like trying to get through the wood a little bit faster. The second you do that, the saw binds up. So you really need to be light with it and let the saw do the work rather than trying to force it like I just did.
There you go. That's the science of single bucking at a 14.38. And Nance, come on over here. Nancy, you and I have trained for about 15 years together. I know when you do something wrong, I know what it is. When I do something wrong, single bucking, you know what it is. Tell us what you think happened in that cut.
I didn't pull enough near wood right off the first stroke, changed the angle, and now I live with it through the rest of it. So it was smoother than it was last year for the cut, but without pulling that near wood right off the top, I'm behind. So it is what it is, and we move on.
What it is third place at 13.03. Still a great cut for Nancy Zaleski.
More to look at that, and third place is certainly not going to take Nancy Zaleski out of the running for the championship here, but Martha King goes right to the top. With that right there, 12.437, a great cut by her. Erin Lavoie in second. Nancy Zaleski, Lindsay Down, Catherine Witkowski, still in the running, still in the conversation for the championship. Tracy Henning, Carrie Kelligan, Alex Miller, boy, just a, wow. Top of the world after the stock saw and all the way to the bottom right here. Ups and downs of the championship Sunday. That's what we've got for you, and we got more when we return.
Run with us in the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835 and be prepared to go the extra mile. Because when others take rain checks, we take the wheel. With 3 wide seating, heat, and AC. This is the coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Search John Deere Gator for more.
Ready for any landscape challenge. Battery power, made by STIHL, only at your local STIHL dealer.
Don't blink in the underhand chop. This is one of the fastest events in timber sports. The elite athletes will be hitting the log in less than 1 second per hit. They will chop the front half of the log using their $700 axe. After they cut the front half of the log, the transition to the back is seamless. In less than 1 second, the axe is into the back side of the log. A 2-and-2 pattern, removing the chips. Then when you get close to the center, you have to be confident. Using precision, accuracy, power, you will drive the log off. Seems dangerous, right? It's actually one of the safest events. And yes, they are wearing a chainmail sock protection underneath their shoes.
Well, the final reckoning is coming up, the last of 3 disciplines to decide our women's championship, Steel Timber Sports. And there's Martha King on top. Nancy Zaleski a point behind. A point behind her, Catherine Witkowski. Erin Lavoie, defending champ, a point behind Witkowski. Also tied with Kendall Cornelius. All right, underhand chop will decide it all. Our first heat of the underhand chop going to be Lindsay Down going up against Tracy Henning. They're loose, they're ready to go. They're ready to put forth their final effort for this season.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
They got to square off in the single buck. They're going to square off in this underhand chop as well. Lindsay Down on the left, Tracy Henning on the right. Last chance to grab those Steel Championship points. There's Lindsay Down around to the backside. We'll get a good look at how this cut's going for her. She's gonna open 2 and 2. Didn't shift a chip on that. She's gonna span it out a little more. There we go. Now we're clearing it out. This is some of the largest diameter timber that these women cut in any competition, and axe placement is gonna be absolutely essential. They gotta reach way down to the bottom side of that log. They gotta reach way up to the top. Make sure they got the point of that axe sticking out through, especially at the bottom of that log. This is where it's gonna come down. She punches top, guts, bottom, didn't go. There it is for Lindsay Down. Tracy Henning with trouble. She is pinched in. Gets the log to break, gives a little foot shove there.
Lindsay Down came into this overall championship points in 8th place. Tracy Henning in 9th place. As you said, this is great wood these folks have been working with all weekend long, but these are the biggest pieces these women will cut in a general sense.
Axe placement, like I said, it's so critical when you get into these larger sticks.
Well, tell you what, we're going to be seeing you next year. We know it's cutting your stock saw a little bit better. Tell us how 2019 went, starting with your qualifying round.
You know, this year is the hardest I've ever trained. I put in so much time. All I did was work, train, work, train. And, you know, some things went really well, some things not so much. But, you know, that's what you get to do. Like, you get to see this, and then you have to improve. So every day it's going to get better and better. And I have awesome hair and some racing stripes, so, you know.
I love the racing stripe. There you go. One more time, Lindsay Down. We're going to talk to Tracy Henning.
Some words exchanged prior to that event. You two had stared out there. What's happening?
I talked some big smack. I told her to go slow. I told her to choke up on the handle. And I said she was pretty.
There you go. And let's get one more round of applause one more time. Tracy, your first year here, and Lindsay Down.
Well, Lindsay Down and Tracy Henning wrapping up their experience here, their final heat of the 3 disciplines. Lindsay Down's official time, 75 seconds, .43, 78.50 for Tracy Henning.
So 75 is the time to beat of Lindsay Down.
Benchmark has been set. I know we're going to see that get eroded away as we move through these next heats.
Yep, we got 4 more heats left to go, and then we will decide our champion. Could it be Kate Page? Could it be Nancy Zaleski? They're getting ready to go right now.
Also, a programming note, we didn't mention it, I don't think, this year, but it came up last year. We had questions coming in on social media. Kate Page is of no relation or marital connection to Walt Page.
That's exactly right, yes.
Coincidence in name, but...
Yep. 2 different pages.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nancy rearing back, big opening blows for this underhand chop. Kate Page not waiting around for anything. I can see a pile of big chips accumulating under both of these logs. Again, hit placement absolutely critical here. Kate Page, a little bit of a bobble there in the turn. Opening hits are overlapped a little bit. She's gathering it up now. Nancy Zaleski going very wide on that. Tons of choppable wood for Nancy Zaleski when you contrast that with Kate Page. Kate is going very blunt now with the chopping angle. Clears a chip, looking to drive. Guts, bottom, bottom again. There it goes for Kate Page.
All right, and there's Nancy Zaleski. She should be under a minute as well, about 49 and change unofficially for Caitlin Page. I think she liked that cut.
Let's go back and have another look at it. There's a lot to be said for keeping that angle, keeping that face open wide. When she got into the middle of this block, she started to run out of timber. Had to get really, really vertical with those hits. Fortunately, did not stump herself, busted off that block with some nice, powerful blows. Gets rewarded with the time well ahead of the previous heat.
You know, we first saw Kate Page come on the scene last year. She was here, and you started this training regiment in Sydney, Australia. You went down under, and you really, really were mentally focused on the Steel Series early in the year.
Yeah, I went down there to see what it's like to chop on different wood, get different tips from different competitors from different countries, because everywhere you go, other people have different techniques and different methods, and it's a nice way to, you know, get those also into your training and see what works for you.
An incredible cut, incredible speed. Everybody wants to know, where'd Kate Page come from, and what are you doing when you're not wood chopping?
When I'm not wood chopping, I'm a wildland firefighter in Montana, so.
Yeah, that's bad to the bone.
Yeah, it keeps me busy, so I do this when I can, and especially a lot in the winter, and spend a lot of time thawing frozen blocks in front of my fireplace.
All right, 49.30, that is the new time to be. That is Kate Page.
I don't know, does chopping frozen wood make you a better chopper? It's got to, right?
You bend your axes if you don't have them dumped up enough, I can tell you that.
Yeah, probably so. Waiting on official time for Caitlin Page here.
Granite State Wood Crew out there doing what they do so well, getting the blocks swapped out, keeping this show moving.
Three more heats left to go here before we decide our national champion here in Milwaukee. There's our official times, and Kate Page takes over. 49.30. Caitlin Page in the lead in the underhand chop, and Nancy Zaleski sitting in second place as it stands right now.
Tell you what, I'll tell you, somebody that's having a blast right now is that young lady on the left, Kelly Kerrigan. She was the wild card coming in here. She just missed qualifying, but the powers that be to out the field to get an even number of competitors, said, come on, come along with us. And she is making the most of it. She's putting on a great show here for us today.
Going up against Alex Miller.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Alex Miller started the day on a high note, slipped to the bottom there in the single buck after a very tough go, but she is a great underhand cutter. For her to reel in some serious Steel Championship points here in the underhand. Exceptional pace on stand number 2 from Alex Miller. Around, very fluid transition, opens 2 and 2. Oh, got a little sloppy on that chip side though. Those 2 hits didn't really gain her as much as she'd like. Kind of held that chip. Now she's shifting wood. Wide open, great slope, tons of cuttable wood. That fresh air just waiting on the other side. The lefty, Kelly Kerrigan, working her way down. She's got a lot of wood to go, but it looks like it's gonna be Alex Miller. Doesn't want to shift. Something's going on here. She's got to reach way down low. There we go.
There she severs the block.
A little stutter step. She stayed on top or got back on top of that log. You cannot strike the block from the stage. You've got to be on the block. You mentioned earlier some of the biggest timber these ladies cut. Kelly Kerrigan trying to figure out what is holding this block together.
Well, doing her best and just sort of not in a great place there. Going to turn back around, take some more out of the front side. There we go.
There it is. She found that last fiber. You see that block settle in. I'm not sure what exactly went wrong. I'd love to see an overhead shot of that block. I don't know if she got the faces of those chops misaligned. Obviously, Kelly not pleased with that chop. Well, there we have it. Thanks, boys. Ask and you shall receive in this industry. Yeah, that's, it looks like maybe she's just a touch dog-legged.
Now explain to us dog-legged.
So what ends up happening, I don't know, that looks like she, no, you know what, I'm changing my answer, Tommy.
Okay,
Did I say final answer? Did I get down to that point?
You did not. Technically, you're still good.
Yeah, there's some bottom wood there that just didn't want to go for her. And I don't think she quite got it on the front side.
Better. I'm discouraged about the single buck. That wood was really soft, and I guess I'm not as experienced in that event, so I'm kind of lacking there. But and my underhand could have been better. But really happy about the stock saw, and happy to be here. Happy to have my fans here with me. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, there you go. We're going to let her take a break, let you get a Band-Aid on that finger. Hey, one more time. Big round of applause. Miller time. Alex Miller.
Get down toward the final 2 heats. Our final discipline of the day, the underhand. Yet to chop. Kate Witkowski, Kendall Cornelius, Erin Lavoie, and Martha King. Martha King with the points lead coming into this final discipline here. So she will be called upon at the end of the day to defend that very spot. Could mean a championship for her. A lot of different scenarios, though. We'll see how it happens. There's your official time. Caitlin Page still on top from the previous heat. Nancy Zaleski in second place. Here's Alex Miller, just over a minute. Lindsay Down, Tracy Henning, Kelly Kerrigan. Alex Miller started out with a blazing stock saw and sort of fell off the pace in the single buck and middle of the road here as it stands right now. We are ready for heat number 4. Underhand chop. Kate Witkowski, Kendall Cornelius. Witkowski on the left, Cornelius on your right. Kate Wiskowski gets all the Wisconsin love here, understandably. They're situated in Milwaukee for these championships. Kendall Cornelius from New Hampshire. Time to beat 4.930.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
2017 champ Kendall Cornelius is not here with us last year. Missed the event dearly and is looking to find some redemption here in 2019. Wow, beautiful turn from Kendall Cornelius. Quickly back into the block. Big axe, spanning it well, placing the hits well. Well, that might be a little premature close on the driving. I think we got to get another chip out of that. Oh, this is where time just erodes away. There it is. Kate Wiskowski passing Kendall Cornelius. There she is. She swallows her pride. Goes back, draws that chip. Still took 3 more drivers after drawing that chip. And Kate Wiskowski is all smiles, though, unofficially in the 43-second range.
That's a good cut. Should be good enough to take over the lead. Let's take another look at it.
Yeah, all eyes were on Kendall Cornelius. She had a beautiful cut going and just got a little, I hate to say stubborn, but a little bit stubborn at the end. I've been there, I've done it. You just feel like you should be able to drive it and you start thumping away at that. 1 or 2 hits on that chip side would have cleared that and cleared the way for those driving blows.
That's just an incredible cut, you know. Everybody's saying the wood's so soft, it's world record wood, and you had the presence of mind to say, no, this wood isn't that soft. You've got to cut a big front end. You executed your plan.
Yeah, we had saved the best for last with the women this weekend, and we had the joy of getting to watch all the men, but we got to watch all the men kind of slay the soft wood that they had, and I think we all came into this expecting the wood to be butter, and I think we're all a little bit taken aback. It's still great wood. It's just not as soft as we expected.
There you go, a smart, powerful cut from Witkowski. Waiting on your official time. Kate Witkowski, your new leader, 42.57. With 1 heat remaining, the 2 fastest ranked women underhand cutters.
Well, there you go. Kate Wiskowski taking over the lead, 42.57. Kate Page hanging in there right behind 49.30. Nancy Zaleski dropping down to 3rd place with a 54.32, and Kendall Cornelius, her 54.52, lands her in 4th place. The standings with 1 heat left to go between Erin Lavoie and Martha King.
That's a tough break for Kendall Cornelius. She's an exception. And she knows. She knows exactly what went wrong there. And you look at how close she was to those other times. That extra hit on that chip side, maybe even 2 hits to really clear that face out. And that would have been a really top-notch time.
Well, Martha King can put this thing away if she can cut better than the 42.57 of Kate Wiskowski right there. Erin Lavoie coming from fourth place in points.
To your left from Spokane, Washington, that is Erin Lavoie. And the winner of the Underhand from 2018 from Chatsworth, Pennsylvania, Martha King.
Big heat coming up right here, possibly the biggest. Martha King can notch a championship. She cuts it faster at 42.57. May not have to cut it that fast.
Martha King was our runner-up last year. She was our winner in the underhand last year. This is hers to lose right now. Wow, really pushing that go. A little bit of trouble for Erin Lavoie on stand number 1. A couple of stuck hits Seems like things are freeing up. Maybe got past a little bit of the drier wood on the outside of that block. Martha King, wow. Look at the opening blows from Martha King. Lets that heel suck into that block. Going after those corners. Keeps a nice wide face, lots of slope. Lavoie also a massive, look at the clean lines from Erin Lavoie. She's got to clear that chip. That is Martha King. She's got a big wall of wood there. There it is.
Oh,
look
Martha
at that
King.
And Lavoie right on her heels.
Oh my goodness, if that unofficial time is correct, if the cut is ruled to be legal, Martha King will stand on top of the world.
Andy Hall, Rich Hallett, both looked at each other, nodded. Seems to be looking good. Let's go back and take another look at this run. There's Martha King at the turn. Look at that opening blow. Drives it in, stuffs the X in there, hangs it up a little bit. Both of these ladies had the benefit of watching all the heats that came before them. They knew they had to open wide with tons of slope.
Boy, that may well have been the winning effort right there. It looks for all the world like it is for Martha King.
You know, I've been watching Martha compete for so many years, and I just said, Martha, you're fast. Like, you're not always fast. You're just faster this year. You've been working on that?
I have been, yes. Everybody says I've got a pretty good style, but it's a very long style, which takes a lot of time in the air. And I've been working to kind of condense things and just move myself faster, I guess.
Well, 39.58 is your time. That is the winning time. You're going to see more and more of her in the future. Another win. 2 wins for Martha King.
Oh, that's what you got to do to claim a championship. It's not been all buttoned up yet. All the I's have to be dotted and the T's crossed. But Martha King knew the job would had to be done. She had to beat the time of 42.57 from Kate Wiskowski. Erin Lavoie beat it as well, but Martha King had the head start on points and looking very good for this competitor. From Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania, to Penn State Mont Alto, and started competing over a decade ago, and boy, it's paying big dividends right now for Martha King.
I don't know if you noticed, Tommy, but when Dave mentioned her time, that 39.58, she kind of went like, nah.
Well,
I could have done that faster. And she could have.
Sure.
There were spots. But that just shows you where her mind is.
What did you think about what she said? She's been working on being a little bit more compact, maybe not as long, maybe not as wide an arc.
No, and that's, you know, I had that problem as an underhand cutter. Everyone said, oh, you know, you got a really nice technical swing, but it never was a fast swing. I had terrible axe recovery, and I did spend a lot of time with that axe in the air, a big arc. And once I started to suck that in a little quicker, move that axe a little quicker, it made a big difference. And that's the same metamorphosis that she's going through, and you can see it in her hit speed. She's putting the axe to the block more frequently, and that's
absolutely
the bottom
faster
line.
than any other competitor out there today in that chopping today in the underhand chop. The pace was faster, I should say, and we certainly saw that on display in the men's championship as well with Nate Hodges. Just super fast, compact, and accurate precision.
Remember, last year's overall champ was Erin Lavoie. 2017 was Kendall Cornelius.
Right on the verge of crowning our women's champion 2019 Steel Timber Sports Series US. Been a perfect weekend here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have had our collegiate championship. That was settled today. Yesterday, men's champion. A Wisconsin native. Cassidy Shear took that. Very dramatic fashion after our six consecutive seasons champion, Matt Koger, had one slip up the very last event of the day, the hot saw. All these women competitors, such hard workers, hard trainers. They got it all in perspective, and they all compete hard to win here. That only one can do it, and it was a pleasure to see all 10 on this stage. They've worked so hard to make it here to Milwaukee.
And it has been tallied. I won't tell you who, but
We have a new winner for 2019. First of all, let's bring out the VIPs that helped this entire championship happen. From Duluth Trading Company Marketing, please welcome and thanks to Kate Jensen. And a big, big thank you and a big Milwaukee welcome from John Deere, Kelsey Luden. And of course, an enormous thank you to STIHL. And this gentleman is the president of STIHL USA, Bjorn Fischer. Ten women made it. In 10th place overall is Tracy Henning. And in 9th place, her good friend from Round Lake, Illinois, Lindsay Down. Coming in 8th, the newcomer here. Please give a round of applause for Kelly Kerrigan. And the firefighter from Montana taking 7th position, Kate Page. And she smoked the stock saw today. It's Miller time in 6th place, Alex Miller. Taking the number 5 position, please give a round of applause for Kendall Cornelius. Taking 4th place overall, Nancy Zaleski. In the 3rd position, Wisconsin's own Kate Witkowski. Four points separating the number 1 and the number 2 position. Taking 2nd place overall, the 2018 champion, Erin Lavoie. And winning her first Women's Timber Sports Championships, winning the underhand, winning the single buck with 25 points, winning the overall from Chatsworth, Pennsylvania, Martha King. And now to present the award for the champions, please welcome again Bjorn Fischer. There you go, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. There you go, and there goes Lindsay Dawn. Thank you very, very much. These are your top 10, and here comes the beer.
All right, and here to give the final toast to the fantastic competition, the president of STIHL Incorporated, Bjorn Fischer. Ladies.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. One more time for the women.
All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, pause.
One more time. Give it up for these ladies. There you go. And stick around, we have the Collegiate Timber Sports Championship presentation happening right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hang tight. We're going to reset. We're going to bring out our collegiate athletes for their medal ceremony. But how about one more hand for these amazing ladies, the top ladies in STIHL Timber Sports. The Collegiate Award Ceremony.
Champions came in the 8th position, Colby Benfield. And coming in 7th position, big round of applause for Justin Hardcastle. Taking the 6th position